Peace, family. Did you hear about the controversy surrounding the Navy want to put the name of a sailor who fought back in Pearl Harbor on the side of their battleship, and who he's got to compete against in order to get this honor? But before I get into that, let me say this. I've been saying for years that blacks need to segregate themselves from whites, do for ourselves. And the number one argument I get is not all white people are bad. Not all white people are racist. And see, it has never been a time where racism required the participation of all white people. All you needed was a few to perpetuate this system. And this story reeks just of that. Now, here you have a soldier serving back in 1941 during Pearl Harbor. His name was Doris Miller. He was a seaman, and during his service, he was segregated. When the Japanese attacked, he went above and beyond his duty. He saved his commanding officer and several other officers. And when he seen the Japanese coming in, he went to an anti-aircraft weapon, something that he was never trained to operate. And he used it to defend his ship. He was one of the last of the three people to leave off the boat. This man served during the time of segregation. They didn't even find him qualified to teach him the full workings of the ship. And he went over and beyond his call of duty to save not only the ship, but and the thing is this heroism that he displayed. When they talked about this on the news, a seaman said that I think the Navy admiral, whoever it is in charge of the Navy, he has to say on whose name go on the ship. But he want to be in agreement with the Secretary of Defense, or what you call it now, the Secretary of War, who is Pete Hegseth. And Pete Hegseth is a person who's already fired several blacks from their position for no reason, removed from authority a few white people or females because he's a racist and a bigot. And you see, racism, like I said, never required the participation of all white people, just a few. And whenever there's a need to continue this, to perpetuate this racist system, white people never fall short. They always just so happen to have a white person ready, willing, and able to perpetuate their oppression over our people. And see, I don't know how on earth, even back in 1941, can you serve on a ship in the service or anywhere in the military, and they segregating you, not training you fully on the equipment, and they doing this to you while you on the ship? How do you think they're treating black people that's off the ship? And see, and I don't want to hear about these Negroes today. They're talking about oh, that couldn't be me. They wouldn't do me like that. What you Negroes do today in the military is even worse than what this man did back then. You allow them to pay you this money so you can serve in the military. And then when you go home to your family and friends, and you pull up in your little Lexus or your little BMW, you're a Republican, you wearing the American flag, and when they hit you up for a few bucks, you saying to yourself, man, I can't wait till I get back on this ship. All these people are poor. They beg, as soon as I come home, they beg me. You don't even want to come home no more. I've seen it happen 1,000 times. You only want the military to work for you. You don't demand that your service be applied so that your family and friends can benefit from it. And then when you do act over and beyond the call of duty, you got to wait some 85 years for them to even think about recognizing your heroism. And when you do get recognized, You don't got to compete against the other elites in the society, the other elites in the military. You got to compete against a pedophile, a felon, someone who avoided going to the service, a draft dodger, somebody who don't even respect the military. Donald Trump sat right there and said that he didn't like John McCain, and the reason why he didn't like John McCain is because John McCain was captured, and he don't like people that's captured. He called people that served in the military suckers. When he went to Arlington Cemetery, Donald Trump asked, what do they get out of this? And see, if I ask you Negroes today, what is it that you supposed to be risking when you join the military? What do you supposed to be risking your life for? If I was to ask you Negroes that, you wouldn't have a clue what the answer is. But what you should be fighting for is a respectable, dignified quality of life that your people are participating in right now. What you Negroes do in the service today is worse than what this guy did 85 years ago. You defending this country that's oppressing your people. You can't even go home and come home in peace without being hit up for cash from everybody. And then when you go and finally get the opportunity to get your name put on the battleship, like I said, you got to compete against a pedophile. Donald Trump didn't put his name on everything that he can put his hands on. Buildings, Bibles, teacups, whatever. Movie theaters, golf courses. He got his name on everything. He's a felon. 24 felons on his record. You don't get to compete against, you ain't got to worry about nobody. You got to worry about a pedophile. And you Negroes still trying to serve in the military. And it's all because you don't know who you are. Because if you knew who you are, then you would set a standard for your service. What sense is it for you to join the military and risk your life just to get a respectable quality of life while your people are oppressed? And if God forbid you don't survive your service, all they're gonna do is just bring the next Negro up to do the same. But if you knew who you were and you knew what you're supposed to be sacrificing for, then you wouldn't sign up or anything until your people are living a prosperous life. And see, and again, Donald Trump, who's another racist, another bigot. You got to compete to see if your name can go on a battleship. And Donald Trump was found guilty of housing discrimination against black people. How can a person like that get his name on a battleship, let alone be president of the United States? But see, if it's up to me, well, none of you Negroes' names ever be on the side of a battleship. I wouldn't give a F who you save. You could save every admiral, every colonel, every sergeant, whoever. And what sense is it for you to fight in the military and the people that you love, that just your family at home? But see, you Negroes think that they choose to be poor. You Negroes think that you better than them. You only want the military to work for you. Like I said, this is, like I say, when a story come out like this, they are laughing right in our face. And you Negroes don't even know. It's absolutely ridiculous. But you know what? I'm in this video here. And as always, these are my thoughts, my opinions. I invite you to leave yours in the comments. And I'll see you in my next video. Ashe.